Hey, Rob, just for clarification purposes, what is the medical reason why Harper can't play left field until next year?
His elbow, his thrown elbow.
What happened to it when he broke his hand? Was there an element to that, or the thumb? What happened with his elbow?
Well, it was a while ago now, but I'll try and remember what happened. About the time he broke his thumb, he was about ready to start a throwing program and start progressing through that. And because of the pins in his thumb, he couldn't do anything because the sweat would get in there and possible infection. So we backed everything off, and then once he came back and started to hit, it was late in the season, we wouldn't be able to get him back on the field anyway. Wouldn't be able to ramp him up quick enough. So we just said, let's stay away from the throwing program. We'll address it after the season and just let him hit.
So the fact that the NL adopted the designated hitter rule this year really worked out for you guys?
I would say it did, yeah.
Other questions for Rob? About 4 rows back on your right, Rob.
Hey, Rob. JT talked yesterday about the faith that you show in the bullpen, and especially yesterday, getting some guys that haven't gotten a lot of work in there with the lead. I wonder how important that was for you guys, team-wise, to get some of those guys to eat innings, and what kind of signal do you think that sends to some of those guys in the bullpen who maybe haven't been pitching a ton?
Well, it was huge for the fact that we didn't have to use Alvarado and Sir Anthony and Eflin and David Robertson. Give them another day's rest, and now they can go back-to-back here in the next 2 days, depending on how many pitches they throw, obviously. But all those guys that we have in the bullpen, I have faith in them. I use them maybe at different times of a game or different game state, but they've all thrown very well. You could see with Nick Nelson, there was a little bit of rust there, so he threw a lot of pitches to get out of one inning, but he got through it. And Gibby threw the ball well. I was happy about that. But so I think we've used everybody on our roster in the World Series except for Garrett Stubbs to this point. So try to figure out a way to get Garrett in there if we can.
Second row on your left, Barry.
Just back to Harper real quick. That's not always an easy transition for a guy who's used to playing 9 innings in the field every night. How did he handle it? Did you see any difficulty there? And has he kind of settled into that role?
I think he's kind of settled in. He'd rather play the outfield. But I think he's kind of settled in and figured out a routine. A lot of guys that DH, they go down in the cage, they hang out in the cage. He's always on the bench, and he's always watching the game. And that's his routine, and I think he's comfortable with it now.
Questions for Rob? Dave on your left, Rob.
Rob, with Noah going tomorrow, I mean, it's been a while for him, but he has pitched in some big playoff games in the past, even this year. Is that a muscle memory to have that kind of experience to pitch in these type of environments that you can draw on as a player, you think?
Yeah, I think so. And, he's a pretty cool customer, too. Nothing really rattles him. He's a lot like Ranger in that way. So he's going to do his thing. He's going to go out and throw strikes. He's going to challenge guys and try to mix it up and keep them off balance, but the moment's not going to be too big for him.
Tim on your left, Rob.
Rob, all the conversation in the last 20 hours about whether or not you guys had something on McCullers. First, curious about your opinion on that, but also, even if you didn't, I'm guessing you think it's not a bad thing that people think so, or that they think so. Does it matter?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't think we had anything on him, but I don't know whether it helps or hurts, whether somebody else thinks we've got something on him.
Is it insulting when people assume that because you hit somebody hard?
No, I don't think so.
Some sort of advantage?
Yeah, I don't think so.
A little bit further back on your right.
Neuri Garcia from Berroa Sports. The Phillies win tonight. You use to Sat Wheeler tomorrow?
No. No, it'll be Noah tomorrow. Win or lose tonight, Noah's pitching tomorrow.
Other questions for Rob? Ron, we'll get you the mic.
Looking back toward June when you moved up and took over, what would you say were the easiest and hardest parts of the transition for you for the next 4 months?
I think really the easiest part was just running the game, because I've done it in my head for so long, and I've had a lot of experience running a game as a field coordinator, farm director, because you've got 5 games you're looking at every day. But and I think the toughest part really for me was learning a process that I needed to go through, and I'm kind of a routine guy, and getting a routine down where I'm not looking at a computer all day long at bunt plays and things like that. I'm out in the clubhouse, I'm talking to people, I'm doing the media even, so it's just a different routine.
Other questions for Rob? Anything else? Am I missing anybody? All right, Rob, thanks so much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.